Morning, everyone. Ollie, Oli, sorry. Robert, Zoom user, Patrick, we got Wade, Glenn, iPad, 89. Don't know what your name is. If you want to post it or change your name, that would be awesome. Richard H is here. Cyrus, good morning. Good morning. Hey, Richard, Michael, Stacy. We are a little light. Did anyone get an email? Hey, CJ, William, how are you? All right. Some people got the email. Perfect. Pamela, Sherman, Joseph, Joe, Kay, good morning or good afternoon now for me. Arturo, Sherman, Sylvia, Mark. Look at that. We're still going up. Hey, Don, Thomas, James, Kay. I'm doing great, Kevin. Making money today. Had a rough day yesterday. So it's nice to have a bounce back day. Hope everyone's enjoying the bonus trades if you're in the pit. We're doing pretty good today. She actually has an ear infection right now, so she is not feeling too great. So she watches this. I hope you feel better, honey. But I think she's at work today. All right. Oops. I mean, you can say whatever you want. I don't know that I would agree with that today, but
What are you talking about?
someone asked us saying crappy market action off limits.
Is saying crappy action saying crappy market action? No, you could say crappy market action if you want. I don't know if it's that crappy.
Yeah,
It's actually been
been
not
pretty easy.
pretty easy today. Yeah, today hasn't been that crappy. It hasn't been pretty good. Evan says, "Great job on the zero DTE trades today, guys. My pleasure. What a surprise with turnaround from opening SPY. Diana, it wasn't big. It wasn't that much of a surprise. If you were paying attention to my morning call today, uh, and welcome everybody. Let me actually go on YouTube real quick too. And I'll tell you why. Hey, Peter, I was saying how there's not that much momentum to the downside or to the upside. I also was saying how the bond market is starting to get a little higher. So this news wasn't nearly the market today. Let me just move this here. The news wasn't nearly as bad. It wasn't that bad. I wasn't that bearish coming into this morning. Matter of fact, I want to show you something. Go to here. Let me go to YouTube. Let me go live. Go to this tab here. There we are. Hey, Tony the Tiger, how are you? Didn't look for an email. You just came here, huh? Welcome, Tony. Welcome, welcome. So, and by the way, Matt, we had almost 700 people in the morning show today.
Yeah, you
It
guys
was
breaking records.
Yeah, we broke our record today. Almost every day we're breaking records. But I wanted to find something here. I actually posted this earlier today. And it really does pay to come to the morning show because we analyze all this. And this morning I wrote to you guys. Let me show you this.
Brenda, customer service live will be your best bet. The Cam and Gustavo show.
Where's all that stuff?
Hmm?
No, I'm asking myself, where's all that stuff that I posted this morning? What's going on here? Is today the 5th?
Yes, it is.
11:18. Okay, here we are. Okay, that's all today. Okay. Would short have been fired? Let me just write this to you. Here. Let me show you something. At 9:48 in the morning, 9:49. This is 20 minutes after the market opened. Not much downside this morning. I mentioned in the pre-market must-watch that I didn't see too much downside, but I did see a bunch of choppiness because we're near the 50-day moving average. Volatility didn't spike this morning. Let's see if the gap can fill early on. Not expecting too much downside since majority of China news and majority of mega caps are out. Now only 2 mega caps left. 9:48 in the morning. Did that not give you any notice? Also, no sector is up over 1% or down under 1%, which tells me there's no strong directional bias either. That's 9:49 a.m., a minute either. Now, this is not a private channel. This is 5,279 people getting this. I'm just letting you know. I mean, it shouldn't have really been a surprise. So, Deanna, hopefully you come to my room and this is not a surprise. Peter, Evan, what's the A-line profit factor? Matt, you can share. You could tell us what is the profit factor for A-line right now. Can you tell us?
I'm pulling it up.
He's pulling it up in real time.
I don't have it memorized.
I don't blame you. Murph, Ed, Adam, to everyone, great day. 400 on the SPY trades today. Roger played. ALK made some nice spinach too. Nice. Jason, nice trade on SPY. Thanks again. You're welcome. Brett says, I am brand new in options and find Thinkorswim intimidating. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I've been finding it intimidating. Brendakis, I've been finding it intimidating for the last 30 years. I have Matt here. Don't tell Matt here, but one of the biggest reasons he's here, wink, wink, is to help me with Thinkorswim. I'm playing around. But yeah, it's pretty intimidating for me too. And I've been doing this for 31 years. Tasty Trade is very easy to use. From what I don't use it, but the word on this, and I may open an account with them. But Tasty Works, from what I understand, is very easy to use. We don't have any affiliation with them or anything like that. And actually, I'll be asking you guys an interesting question. I'm brand new in options. Yeah. Good morning, Brendan. Tara, Carlos. Glenn says, I was in the morning show and it was awesome. Folks, you need to be there. Thank you, Glenn. Ivano, hello. Mark, hello. Carl, how are you? When does pit start each day? The pit start each day? The pit is all the time, every day, 24/7. Pretty much the entire time I'm awake, but usually when the market's open, Michael. I post during the same time in the pit as I do on the regular Telegram channel. So to give you an example, To give you an example, I started posting this morning at the pit. This is all this morning in the pit, guys. I started posting this morning at 8 a.m., 9:36, uh, and this is the pit all day today. We've already taken 3 winners on 3 trades in e-minis, and it's lunchtime already. I've always wanted to say that. I've taken 3 winners before lunchtime. I've never actually said that before, or I don't know why, but we've actually took 3 winners before lunchtime. Mark is morning show on Telegram. Morning show. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, Mark, and just go to here. Just go to this channel right here. Here, I'll post it in the Telegram, and you guys can go there. This is record. This is live right now on YouTube as we're watching it. It does sound nice, right? I took 3 winners before. I have a really good session today. I'm going to give you guys some real value today. You shouldn't be able to see my screen. I'm not sharing anything yet, Richard, but I will in a minute as soon as I turn on my TC2000. And Matt, when you get a chance, let's figure out what's wrong with this screen so I can watch my internals. Thank you. It's not an emergency or anything, but I'd like to.
I was going to do it yesterday after the close, but I spent a lot of time. I went into
You mean this
research
happened
mode.
yesterday after the close?
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about your candles on TC2000.
My what?
Your candles on TC2000.
No. Well, thanks for reminding me of that. I forgot about that. Good reminder. No, I'm talking about the
Yeah, no,
monitor.
that happened this morning.
Yeah. I figured it did. One of my monitors is not working, so I have one. I'm half arm behind my trading with one arm behind. Hey SJ. Hey Richard. Hey Scampy. Hey Pete. Hey Naples fan. Hey Raj. Good to see you guys. By the way, Gramster's going to come in today at I think 12:40, 12:45. And we're going to have a class with him at 2:30. So you guys stick around for that. Don't go anywhere. Okay. And I really do have something very important that I want to talk about. Matt, take a look at, okay? Looking better than it did earlier this morning, okay?
Absolutely.
Really looks good right now. And actually, we know somebody who has it. So a little validation there.
There's the link.
Yes. You got a link for that, for the class?
I think so.
All right. Post it in YouTube as well.
Graham, right?
Yes, for the Graham class that we have. Where's my chat? See my chat. Who moved my cheese today? There we are. All right.
Now what time does it start, Roger?
It starts at 2:30.
Okay.
Adam says 12 winners, 1 rebalance on the A line, 0 losses. Great start to week.
Oh yeah, I have that number.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's 11.11 on the stock. 7.21 on the options.
Which, I guess on the A line, we don't need to, on one of our programs, Matt, we need to buy further out options. So folks, if you find a program that has a stark difference between the options and the stocks is better, that means we're not buying options with a long enough time. Hey, Larry, how are you? What kind of profits do you expect on the Sky Scalps? Well, let me show you. I have no expectations at all, but I'm going to show you what they've been today. So, bought at 160, sold at 190. These are actual trades. Bought at 217, sold at 231. The last one was a whopper. The last one we bought at 128. No, excuse me. The last one we bought at 85 cents and sold at 128. We did all of those 3 today. Stewart made 23%. I just got another email from him. He made 50 something percent. People are let's just say this, that when we launch this program live, it will be the biggest seller in the history of the pub that's ever happened before. That I could assure you of. Dave says 16 out of 18 wins today for $5,000. Stu says 72% on the SPY trade. It's Stewart. Yeah, I'm talking about, different Stewart. There's 2 Stewarts here. Who figured? Didn't know I had 2 Stewarts. Hey, Stu, 72% on the SPY trade. So somebody asked me, what kind of profits do you expect? George, are they answering your question? Are they answering your question? So we need to take care of what program are you talking about? What 50 Jason said 58% on the last SPY trade. They're in the pit for another month or so, and then we're going to launch it. What is the pit and how do I get in on it? Harold, call customer service. They will help you. And no discounts on the pit. Remember what I told you. The price only goes up in the pit. It doesn't go down. All right. All right. George's question is answered. Now, I need to ask, I need for you guys to do something for me right now. I don't ask you guys to do things for me very often. Yes, Angie. You know, Angie says the pit is the day trade room. Angie, it must be a different Angie because we have an Angie here. She's in the pit. Which method do you use? Will all be disclosed at the right time, Kevin. $800 and $1,000 on 2 of your SPY trades. Folks, get into the pit. It's a good program. And we'll be doing these. We'll be doing other type of bonus SPY trades there, but not these. These are going into their own program. SPY trades away in a month. I'm going to put them away in a different program. Month and a half. Don't know exactly when. The great and wonderful Papa says, I like that. Will the SPY scalps be under your name? They'll be in the diamond. They'll be under my name. They're not going under my dog's name. They're going under my name. They will be in the diamond. Yes. If you guys don't have the diamond, it's a good time to buy it. Yep. Pit is the best. I love the pit. Please take your time launching that. I will. It is. It's like the pit. Well, I don't know about steroids. The pit is, I mean, we have a 94% win rate plus in the pit. Adam says, I'm compelled to state my opinion on Roger's lessons. They have made me a profitable trader, so big thank you to Roger and Matt. Stu says, love the pit. Look at this, Matt. We're not even promoting anything here today. Love
Money
the
speaks
pit.
for itself.
Yeah, we're not really promoting anything, guys. So thank you. I appreciate it, but we're not promoting anything. But I do appreciate it. It's so nice when people say nice things about you without you even having to ask. AVGO wreck from last Friday, made 68%, took 50% out, staying with others. Diamonds are girl best friends. That's true, Rochelle. Good morning to you, Rochelle. Don't know if you saw my email I sent. I did. Is it okay if I share it with everybody here, Richard? Joined the pit on Monday, up $2,800. Mine too, Stephen. All right, I'll share it. I didn't know if you want me to share it. It was kind of, it sounded pretty private, but I'll go ahead and share it. Richard says, this is an email I just got from Richard 34 minutes ago, so I only had a chance to read it just now. I didn't even have a chance to respond. You already know how grateful I am, but that goes without saying. I wanted to let you know that the comfort level I feel now is almost like that of a card counter. Even from last year to now, I see the difference in my trades. This guy was making $5,000 a day last year. I used to have a bunch of red days. Now I don't see them anymore. As a matter of fact, I have not had one this year, knock on wood. Now when I trade, it's like being a table playing card and cards on the opponent facing up on the table instead of hearts and spades. They are Vold, Add, and Tick. We talked about them yesterday. Others may be showing SPY, QQ, WM. By looking at their cards and knowing what is in my hand, I can make better decisions whether to go in or stay out. Just a quirky analogy, but oh boy, do I get it. I don't just get it. I feel it because I have exactly the same thing you're going through. Thank you for saying that, Richard. And we've been getting a lot of feedback. But thank you. That was very, very nice of you. At least the pit saves me from myself. That's good feedback. Thank you for sharing that, Richard. I get a lot of emails that I don't share with you guys because I don't know how much I'm supposed to share. Ooh, look at this market. Now, if I had to bet, I would say support would be right here, which happens to be right at the moving average. Right here would be support, right there. If it goes past this level here, there's a good chance it'll start coming down to all the way to the VWAP. All right, so I want to ask you guys for a favor, and I need you guys to do me a favor because somebody asked me about this, and actually, I'm curious because I want to know where I should be trading as well. So we've been trading these zero DTE at Fidelity. I have my retirement account there, which is a very large account, and I have pretty much permission to do whatever the hell I want. But a lot of you can't trade zero DTE at Fidelity because they have a restriction against that. So you have to use a different broker. So I received an email today from a wonderful lady who's in here who said, my fills are not as good as yours. I'm using Think or Swim. So what I wanted to ask you, and please be as honest as possible with me, how have your, don't just say good or bad, name the broker and then say good, bad, average in comparison to the fills that I've been getting, so that I have a good idea. Fills at horrible at Thinkorswim. Yeah, but E-Trade, but are they good or bad? You got to Scampy. This is I need to know this. All right, Matt, this is good because people are talking about Tradier too. Fills are horrible at Thinkorswim. I'm embarrassed. Only 1 for 4. I'm on Thinkorswim 2. E-Trade. Is E-Trade good, Scampy? I have a friend with the Thinkorswim average. I use the trade. What? Trade who do you use, Vivek? Trade. You didn't say who you're using, Vivek. Fidelity, okay. Fidelity's fine. I don't have any problem with Fidelity. John says Trady are bad. My fills are great, but I also use Fidelity. Yeah, Fidelity's going to give you amazing fills. If you're not getting good fills at Fidelity, you're not going to get better fills anywhere else. I can promise you that. I'm talking about other brokers. I'm using Fidelity and have used 1DT, still profitable. E-Trade. Oh, E-Trade. Okay. So you like E-Trade. Okay, good. E-Trade, good. Chris says E-Trade. Things are typically better. Thinkorswim fills are better. Look at that. Schwab is good. Thinkorswim can be slow. Thinkorswim is good. Very good fills. Huh. Tasty Trade, good, but usually have to wait interactive. Fidelity close to your fills, good. E-Trade, bad fills. Same as you, me on Thinkorswim. E-Trade, bad on day trades. PID's good for swing trades. E-Trade's good. Okay, or good for me. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. You can use SPX because it settles in cash.
yeah, you could use SPX. Fidelity with next expiration, Cosma good fills. Robinhood is working. Schwab fills are not good. Sometimes I think they're playing games. Schwab is okay. Schwab is good. Schwab timing issues. Huh. E-Trade is excellent. You know, Matt, maybe we should open up an account at E-Trade and give it a try. It seems people are pretty happy. Vivek, thank you for the feedback. I get good fills. Richard gets good fills at Fidelity. They won't let me buy. Yeah, 0DT is Fidelity's a problem. Okay. All right. So here's the message that I'm getting here. Okay. Here's the message that I'm getting. I'm getting the message that half of you are getting good fills with Schwab. Half of you are not. Most of you are getting good fills with Fidelity. And about 75 to 80% are getting good fills with E-Trade, which is interesting because I never would have even considered E-Trade. Although Chuck uses it, and you know who uses it? Morgan uses it, Matt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't complain. If I'm doing a large size break, I'll do down 20, better fills. Trade Station, I'm not a fan of Fidelity. Yeah, Trade Station, I'm closing my account there actually. I'm not happy with where their platform is going. All right. Okay, I have some feedback. Now, for all of you here, so this should give you some feedback as well, because it's hard for me to give you feedback because I have no one to compare my fills against, you see. Traded with Trade over 12 years. They're not Australian. Tasty's good. I've always heard, by the way, I've always heard reasonably good things from Tasty. I've never heard like it's the best thing since sliced bread, but I've never heard anyone give me a lot of flack on Tasty. People are like, it's pretty good. It works pretty good. Like I've never heard like horror stories from Tasty. But in my opinion, from what I know, from my previous experience, Fidelity, because they're a market maker. But from what I'm getting from you guys, Thinkorswim is a flip of a coin, and that kind of tells me it's more about you than the system. Tradier, yeah, that's an account I'm thinking of actually going into. Right now, I have Thinkorswim and Fidelity, and I have someone else too, and I have TradeStation, yeah. And I closed my interactive broker account. Schwab Direct feels good. Just have a few seconds. I guess I don't have the restrictions at Fidelity. What's the restriction? If you 0DTE. I like Fidelity. There's nothing like Fidelity. Cumbersome. Okay. You know, Randall, you can use Tradier through their API, and you can directly trade through TradingView. Did you guys know that? Fidelity, Michael. I don't like Thinkorswim platform. I don't really have any issues with their fills. But I'm glad you guys are telling me to putting up E-Trade. Good. All right. Let's move on. Now, I want to talk about something that could or could not be very important to you guys. And I'll be trading alongside Kane with others live. Can't fill, Stinker, Swim, Schwab. Can't get Fidelity more than level. All right, enough of this. Enough of this. Let's move on. Let's move on. And thank you everybody for on YouTube as well. So, and by the way, Keith, we're testing the new Fidelity platform, their demo, right, Matt?
Yep.
We're testing it now. What do you think so far? Better than the previous?
Yeah, it's definitely better than the previous.
Okay. All right.
But it's much better.
All right. Good. Good to know. Does Thinkorswim Zero DTE? I think it's level 2, Marlon. Level 2. Okay. Let's continue, guys. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of time, and I don't want to run out of time. So, a lot of you guys trade futures, okay? And those that don't trade futures trade cryptos. Now, I'm going to explain to you why futures and cryptos, why you cannot use volume-based indicators on those assets, why they do not work. You know how I always tell you, you guys know how I always tell you guys, that for stocks, you need a volume-based indicator. Well, if you're trading futures specifically, not like corn, but like if you're trading like stock index futures relating to the stock market, volume indicators would be useless to you. Order flow will be useless to you. 90% of all the tools that they recommend for futures trading will be useless to you. And I'm going to explain to you why right now. Okay. What, Roger? What? You mean that $50,000 that I spent on all the tools to trade E-mini? They're all those in? Yes. And I'm going to explain to you why. And I'm only talking about stock related futures. Okay. So if you guys trade futures, especially stock related futures, listen, don't, and I'm not just going to tell you this as a conclusionary statement. I'm going to explain it to you. And you're going to have an aha moment, and you're going to thank me for it, and you're going to say, I've never heard this before, but it makes perfect sense. And now, in my discussion, in a roundabout way, I'll also explain to you why cryptos are now correlated to the stock market while they weren't before. So listen and listen good. Nobody will talk about this. No guru's going to explain this to you. Nobody understands this as well as I do. Listen and listen good and take notes, okay? When you're trading E-minis, when you're trading Nasdaq futures, I'm only talking about futures, okay? When you're trading any kind of futures, okay? Let's say you want to use the VWAP. What is VWAP measuring? It's measuring volume. Volume has to be natural volume. Do you know the difference between natural volume and non-natural volume? Does anybody know? Let me explain it to you, okay? Remember, I always tell you guys, if you trade ETFs, you could trade 1 gazillion share, 1,000 million shares of ETFs, and you can't move it. Why? Because the ETF is not a natural asset. It's tied to something else. For example, the consumer staple ETF, it's tied to 30 consumer staple stocks or 50 consumer staple stocks. You can't move that asset because that asset is a bank depository note that is all it's doing is tracking value that's happening there, and it's bringing it here. Ken, you're going to love this discussion. You're going to love this discussion, especially Ken. So synthetic, that's the same thing. Synthetic, yes, synthetic. It's a proxy. Trades as a proxy. It's not natural. Not natural means synthetic. So when you're trading a synthetic asset, you can't use technical analysis on that asset because that asset is being traded as a proxy. Let me give you an explanation so you understand. Please, Jen, see what you're asking right now, market to market. The value of knowing market to market and all of that has about 1/50th of 1% value. And what I'm explaining to you can change your life. Please listen. So let's say you're trading gold, right? Okay, let's say you're trading gold. And let's say there's an ETF that's tracking gold, okay? That ETF is just going to mimic what gold is doing. If gold goes up, that ETF is going to go up. If that gold goes down, ETF is going to go down, right? You can't arbitrage it. Otherwise, you'd be able to buy one and sell sell the other, and you'd be making $1 billion and you'd be richer than Elon Musk and you'd be having fun with Trump. You're not doing that, right? So that's an impossibility. Okay. So just assume what I'm saying at fair value. You can argue with me later when I'm done. So an artificial asset. So let's say right now, let me show you a good example. Here, XLP. See XLP? This asset trades whatever 30 or 50, whatever as many consumer staple stocks are doing at a certain value. It doesn't have any of its own movement. It doesn't trade on its own. You see this volume coming in? This volume is a computerized volume that's just tracking what those 30 stocks are doing and arbitraging it against those stocks in real time. There's no movement to this asset on its own. You understand? Gold is a similar thing. Gold, people trade gold, right? And then there's a GLD ETF. Now, can the GLD be differently priced than gold? No, because you can buy one and sell the other. You will arbitrage them. And that'll be that. Please don't go with what I'm saying right now. This is a very delicate balance here, and I don't want to get off base. And I'm teaching you something very important. So now, what the hell does so you understand the difference between a synthetic asset and a natural asset? A synthetic asset is like XLP, GLD. So why are futures, stock index futures, synthetic assets? Let me explain. Where does the index futures get its mojo from? And don't think detail, think big picture. Where does it get its mojo from? From the S&P 500. Where does the S&P 500 get its mojo from? 500 stocks. Right. Natural people are trading that stock. That's why the candles on futures happen after the stock. Yes, of course. The futures is a speculation of what's going to happen on the stock based on the S&P 500. Why do you think we use the S&P 500 cash and not the futures when we with Pro Trader Dashboard? Because that's a representation of the stock, not a second guess representation of the stock. Okay. So what is moving the S&P futures? Mags, right? Big caps, large cap stocks, right? This is where people are putting their money in. This is where actual trading is occurring. The S&P 500 is just a proxy for this, for the 500 stocks. This is just a proxy for the S&P, just like the XLP is a proxy for the stocks. But you could look at this proxy because you could trade this proxy because this gives us those 7 stocks and the 500 others. But the S&P futures derive their value from this asset right here. Yeah, guys, stop, Jack, please. Everybody understands what I'm saying. Don't nitpick on every word. Just go with it. Just go with what I'm saying and try not to interrupt me. Your futures trading is based on this, is based on this, is based on this. Whatever people are doing here is being represented into the futures contract. If I see right now, if I'm looking at a VWAP, and I see 100 million shares selling in the S&P futures, and this contract goes up, the S&P futures are going to go up. What? Yes, they will, because if not, I can arbitrage them against each other. I can sell one and buy the other. There's plenty of programs that I could get a $20 programmer to do for me that would do that. That stuff you haven't been able to do that in 30 years. Okay? So my point is, and by the way, I love how the SPY is looking right now. 6 month on a daily. It's looking pretty good. Anyway, my point is, you're being everything in the futures market that's relating to cash is not trading on its natural volume. So if something is not trading on its natural volume, if something is a proxy, then how valuable would a indicator that takes volume into account be for that? It would be useless. So all that stuff that I'm telling you about the cash market, the S&P 500, the stocks, it doesn't apply to the futures market because futures, especially I'm talking about ones that are derived from the stock market, are not being driven on their own. They're just a proxy for the SPY. You understand that, right? Yes, completely. Forget about RV Hannings, forget about 0 DTE. Just forget about that. Now, Well, Roger, if that's the case, what about Bitcoin? What about Bitcoin? What about this asset right here? Why is this asset, why is Bitcoin starting to look like the S&P 500? Short, I don't want short. Why is this looking just like the S&P 500? Well, I'm going to ask you an interesting question. Futures, are there futures on Bitcoin? Yes. When did those futures become legal? A few years ago, right? What exchange are they on? They're on the same exchange as the S&P 500 futures. And let me ask you another interesting question. Who is the market maker for the S&P 500 futures versus the market maker for the Bitcoin futures? Do you think there's a different market maker? I hope you guys rewind the session and watch it at least 20 times. What I've explained to you right now, nobody understands enough to explain to you. Nobody's going to open up that can of worms, and nobody's going to do that. They're just not, they don't have the ability to do that. So please rewind. If this went over your head, what I just did was answer the question of why crypto is becoming increasingly correlated to the S&P 500. And I've also explained to you why indicators that people spend 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 on are completely useless. Okay, let's move on. All right, was that a nice little education session? All right. Richard, don't use the VWAP on the E-mini S&P. Use it on the S&P 500. Don't use technical indicators that use volume on assets that are proxies. Okay. Good. Good. All right. Now let me give you stocks. That was a good session. I was hoping we were going to have a good session. You don't understand the market being the same? Greg, the same market maker who arbitrages the S&P arbitrages Bitcoin against it. You see, folks, you got to start thinking outside of the box sometimes. There you go, Tara. Market maker, the guy who sets the price, who sets between the, you do realize this is just one big auction. You look, folks, trading is just, you're part of an auction. This is an auction that's going on. All right. Let me ask you, Ken, have you ever heard anybody say that before? And does it make sense to you as a mathematician? How can you use volume indicator when the volume is not natural volume, when that volume means absolutely nothing? But it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm not like making this up. I don't like sit here and make up fantasies. I actually think a lot and I do a lot of research. All right, I will. And by the way, for those that don't believe me, let me show you. Let's do a little social experiment. No, it's not QQQ because QQQ actually has stocks in it. Let's do a little social experiment. Pull up the mega cap stocks, and pull up the futures. And notice when all the mega caps make a swing high, that's the high for the futures. Notice when the mega caps make their low, that'll be the low for the futures. If they didn't have anything to do with the mega caps, don't you think they would be trading independently? All right. LW. I'm going to go fast through these because I don't want to keep you guys here for 2 days, but I hope you guys pay attention and listen to me, and I hope you guys stop buying indicators. If you guys trade futures, stop buying indicators for the futures markets, especially if they're based on stocks, because all of those things are proxies. You need to buy indicators that work on actual traded assets. Okay? That's okay, Jack. Do you know how many years people try to put indicators on the E-mini market, volume indicators? It's like, dude, you're looking at a proxy. You're looking at what the E-minis do, what the S&P 500 is doing. See, here's the thing. I'll explain it for folks who didn't quite understand it. Okay? Let's say there's a guy trading an E-mini S&P, and there's another guy trading Nvidia and Netflix. Okay? The guy selling the E-mini S&P is selling 100,000 contracts. The guy on Nvidia is buying 100,000 shares of Nvidia and Netflix. They don't know each other and they don't know what's going on. This guy is selling and this guy is buying. Guess where the futures are going to go? Up. So what good is the volume, his volume, if the future is just going to follow the cash market? Duh. You don't understand how many decades, how many fortunes have been lost, how many people have committed their life to figuring this out and they haven't figured out that basic concepts that I just explained to you. I'll just technical indicators. Just technical indicators. Yeah. The best way to analyze futures is to look at stocks, assuming you're talking about cash futures. Another day and another of your trades lose money. Hey, Antho, you were the guy yesterday who was. We have a guy here who likes to say something and leave. Another day and another one of your trades loses money. Yesterday he was talking about me losing money. Today he's talking about me losing money. We took 3 winners just now this morning. Who's losing money? Oh. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was here yesterday, Sue, saying the same thing, and then he just leaves. He says something and he leaves. All right. LW. You did, Murray. You did. He's a troll. Yeah, yeah. That's okay. I'm in a good mood. Everybody's happy. LW 0.70, 6250 put right here. I like the stock a lot. Matt, take a look at this thing. This looks good. I'm making money due to your and that is from the morning meeting and the VIP room. Thank you. You're welcome, Jack. Jeffrey says, first off, losers happen. It's a probability game. Second, if you're losing money with Roger, you better look inwards to figure out what you are doing wrong. Thank you, Hefe. Yes, Liberty was a lot. I wanted to roll, and I may roll it, but we got earnings coming up. Folks, not every trade will be a winner. Not every trade will be a winner. I can't, it's just how it is, Are you guys hearing what he is saying when picking the option? I hope so. I hope so. So 44 days to go. If you do, you will learn how to pick them on your own. Yes, yes. 1 out of 4 of my losses with you are my fault. It's okay, Heffy. I love the name, by the way. I've never heard that name before. Even though I lived in Los Angeles for 45 years, I've never heard that name before until I started watching Landman. And they named I love animals. They named the pooch Hefe. And I started, I'm like, Natash, next time I'm going to get a dog, I'm going to name him Hefe. I love that name. It's a cool name. Cool name. Yeah, great show. Great show. March 21st, LW. For anybody who doesn't watch Landman, it's a first tier education in energy sector. I highly recommend it to everybody. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know what it meant. It meant boss. Very cool. Very, very cool. Love that name. Love the name. Very cool. Cool, Jeff. 44 days, March 21st, 6250 put with a stop near the 6465 level. Beautiful, Steve. Paramount trial looking for, yeah, check it out. You'll love it. You will love it. Love it. Pre is not so luxury goods. Folks, I like the stock, but I would wait for it to base out here before selling it. I think it's going to just base out. I mean, you could do it now, but it's a very high risk play, especially with the market doing what it's doing. Although the market looks like, remember what I said a few minutes ago? I said it's going to do one of two things. It's going to come back down here. It's going to test this area right here and bounce back up, or it's going to break this and come back to the VWAP. You'll see. Mark my words. One of those two things will happen. Murph says my first 3 wins in a row happened today. You're welcome, Murph. That makes me happy. Hey, RJ, are you here? Did you take these trades? Let me know. 23 would be my stop. But again, I would be very, very careful. I don't have any experience with Robinhood. I don't really consider them I don't know. I don't know about Robinhood. To me, they're like, I wouldn't trust my money with Robinhood personally. I'm old school. But remember, I'm the guy who used to like need to go to see his broker to deposit money. I'm old school. One of the reasons why I like Fidelity so much is they have a branch, actually. Did you know, Matt, they have a branch in Ponte Vedra?
Who does?
Fidelity.
Oh yeah.
They have a branch in Ponte Vedra. You can walk in there, you
Hmm.
can talk to people there, which I really like to do sometimes. Pre March 7th. But you know what? You guys actually gave me a good idea. I think I'm going to have to try out E-Trade. 69 Delta, 23 put. March 7th. I haven't had an E-Trade account in 30 years. I don't know. I don't know, Joe. But Fidelity has a trading platform which is not bad. Marty, they're upgrading it now. We're using their new sample. Yeah, Schwab has branches too, which is great. I don't have a problem with Schwab. I have a problem with their platform. It's too complicated for me, and I think it's too clumsy, too clunky. It's too they. It doesn't have to be this complicated. Yeah, 23 KHC. Now this is a nice looking stock. Look how well it moves directionally. Put my stop loss right here, about 29.70. 30 days to go. 76 Delta, 30 put. K-View. This stock is not ready yet. By the way, look at the 5 minute, right at the VWAP. Right at the VWAP. Uh, Not a day trading stock, and it needs to break 2050. Well, that's because, Sean, because most people use Thinkorswim. The other ones are just too simple, but you can't do all that stuff in other platforms, in all fairness. Yeah, Tradier is very good. One of the reasons why Tradier is good is because they have the best API. You can use them with just about anybody. KView is not going to work because it's way too illiquid. Trade use, Trade Pro. I asked top my PC real time super fast, depending on the power, easy enter, high rollers, filling. E-Trade, okay. No. Hog. See, Matt, too sensitive to volume over here. Need to raise it by at least 20%, maybe even more.
Mhm.
Right here, 28.80. 30 days to go. 76 Delta, 28 put. Peter, they're upgrading it. That's what we're testing right now, beta testing right now. I've been liking this stock for a few days now. I think it's going to have a little more downside personally. Hey, look who's here.
Hey,
Oh, we don't have speakers on.
Can you say something,
Steven
Graham?
trading hog did you guys go long hog or short?
No. We would never go long. We would
Okay.
never go long hog.
Okay, just checking.
No, we would never go long hog. We're still at our short list. We haven't done our long list yet. I'm about to go through our long list. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm interested to see what you got here.
Yeah, I was explaining to everybody today why we call you Gramster, or why I call you Gramster. I explained that you had that hamster that was living in your office.
It
So,
was not by my doing. Yes,
I
that
know
was,
yeah,
it
it
was
wasn't
gifted
his
to me.
choice.
It was
It was
gifted to me.
it was, and so I'm thinking hamster Graham. I'm just gonna call him Gramster. So that's where the name came from. It's done out of love. It's affectionate name. So we got one more stock to the short side, and we're gonna go to the long side. I was explaining to everybody today, Graham, why folks are trading futures, stock index futures. They need to look at actual cash indexes because the volume going into futures is synthetic volume, just kind of like volume going into XLP. It's really going into so they need to look at the actual cash. But we took 3 winners today. We had 3 winners on the 0DT trades today. We did pretty good with those. And we're about to move to the long side. Now, folks, Graham has a class today, which I'll be joining him. It starts at 2:30 Eastern time. I'm well, Art. Thank you for asking. I'll talk about tech in a second, Rochelle. But it'll be at 2:30. Matt will post a link. It'll be a really cool class. Graham, let me go ahead and finish this. I'll be done in
for
about
sure.
5 minutes, and then you can tell us a little more about the class. So tech, the tech options, I would be looking at these. I would be looking at the 75 delta, and I would be looking at the 38 put, and I would be looking at a stop right around the 15-day. And notice how when it came down here, what did it do afterwards? It fell down again. And right now it's not doing great. I wouldn't be day trading this stock. This is not a day trading stock, but it's got too many wicks everywhere. But it's a good, yeah. And folks, I am not scanning through earnings. The reason why I'm not scanning through earnings is because, as you know, I avoid doing 2 things. I never trade earnings, and I never average into stocks. Gambling fallacy.
And Hog had earnings pre-market, so Hog ordered.
Oh yeah, if it had earnings pre-market, you can do it. By the way, my earnings is right here. So if in case you guys want to see earnings, it's right here. Now Hog is an interesting stock, but I think I think that if we can get to the 15 and back away from here and then start coming down below the 8, I think we can be in Hog heaven at least 1 or 2 more times. All right. MKTX is a nice stock. It's breaking down. It's looking great on an intraday. This actually could be a nice day trading stock today, but the spreads are way too wide. And yeah, you would only do this with shares. You would not touch this with. Now let's do the long side. I like Vertuvian. Nice trending stock. It looks very, very nice. Earnings have already passed. It's right now at the VWAP. You guys know how much I like to buy at the VWAP. I'd probably like, it's a little deviated from the 8-day EMA. I'd probably like to buy it a little lower, but we'll switch to calls. We'll go 44 days out. We'll go to the 76 delta, and we'll go to the 38 call right here. And that's what we would do right there with a stop loss right below this pivot, which is right below the 15-day. And then I like GoDaddy. Now, when are they reporting? They're reporting soon, so you got to be careful with GoDaddy. But if you're a swing trader, if you're a short-term trader, it's right at the 8-day EMA right now, and it doesn't look like it wants to go much lower. As a matter of fact, 2 days ago, it was pinned right here. Matt, as a matter of fact, make a little note for me, okay? I like GoDaddy around here. I do like GoDaddy around here. Now, you may be in this trade for a few days, but I don't see it really breaking down much more below this level. Richard said, set your alerts and buy it when you want it. Exactly. In this case, 23 to 30 days out, we would have 23 days out. We would go to the 69 delta, right? 69 delta. Notice I don't look at the strike price. I started the delta and I go across. We would be looking at the February 28th GoDaddy calls right there. And we can put our stop right below this pivot, which happens to be right near the 15-day. You don't want to blindly use 50-day, not 15-day. Why would you not use the 15-day? Because we're keying off of the 15-day. So you don't want to use the moving average we're keying off. You want to use the moving average immediately below the latest pivot. You would look to the left right here. Almost done. We just got a couple of more left. Okta is looking very nice. Actually, this is looking really nice. Actually, this looks good enough to eat right now. Circle this stock. I may want to buy that stuff. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Now, notice it broke out of this range. It's looking really nice this morning. And it's already out up above this channel, but it's not overextended from the 8-day EMA. That would give us a very high probability trade. And the lows are getting higher. We're above the 15-day. There's nothing wrong with this stock as far as the eye could see. It's an infrastructure stock, and earnings are a while from now. And again, it's not really overdone or anything like that. Also, it's in a gap, or almost at the gap. You don't have a lot of resistance till right here. So you're still okay. You're still good for a little while. 23 days or 30, take your poison. About 72 delta, 93 call, February 28th. Look at this. Imagine this, Graham. I give them this kind of value every single day.
I know. I'm over here taking notes. I'm flipping through these charts as you're mentioning them.
Nice, nice. Hood, another stock that is right on my radar right now. Like, I like the stock right now. Why do I like the stock right now? because it's showing us that it can trade above all this without being knocked down. Look, it's above all the averages, it's above the VWAP. It's got decent volume. You got a Hackenacci reversal on a daily right here, and you have Hackenacci reversal right here. You have a Hackenacci reversal off the VWAP, and you have a Hackenacci reversal off the 8 days. So right now, this stock is a buy. I got a couple of stocks. I should be trading instead of being with you guys here. I could be making some money right now. 23 days to go, 69 delta, 51 call on Hood looks very, very appetizing. Both this stock and Okta look very, very nice, and they're both completely unrelated from each other. Notice now, I'm not a big fan of Robinhood, the company, but I love the stock. I'm not a big fan of Elon Musk, but I love Tesla. Your opinion of the company and your opinion of the stock don't have to jive. They don't have to be together. Net, another stock that's looking beautiful. Notice software infrastructure stocks are looking good today. This is already the third software stock today. Now, I think we have, don't we have a FANG stock reporting after the market today? Correct me if I'm wrong. Who's coming out after the close today?
I think today we have Qualcomm, but that's not FANG. But no
Yeah.
FANG. We have MicroStrategy. Tomorrow is who? Amazon? No.
Amazon. Yeah.
Is it?
Amazon. You got it right. Amazon. But this is a lovely looking stock right now. This is a lovely stock too. Very nice. 23 days to 30 days out. 67 delta, 138 call. Or you can go a little further if you want to, have a little fun with it. You can go 30 days out, go ahead and buy the 50 call, do an add the money call debit spread, buy the 145 and 145 and sell the 150. Make sure you do it for $2.50 or less. You never want to do a debit spread for more than 50% of the you want to have at least a 1-to-1. So that'll cost you about $2.50 right there. Room, what was RH called? Sorry, Angie, I don't understand the question. Room.
Yeah, it's Hood.
Oh, I'll give you Hood again. Yeah. Hood was right here. It was 23 days out, 70 delta right here, about 51 call. All right. I got one last one. Now, this stock is not a day trading. Now, let me show you the difference between these two. Look at Net and look at VIC. Now, they're both doing exactly the same thing. Why would I trade Net versus VIC? Can somebody tell me? Look, Graham, look how smart these folks will be right now. You'll see something. You'll see they're all going to tell you. They're going to tell you stuff you don't even believe. You wouldn't even look at that. So they're writing. That's right. They understand.
Nice.
Wiki. You don't day trade these stocks. To Wiki.
A plus for everyone.
To Wiki. Stock looks great, but to Wiki. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It means that you got to be more realistic about what you're getting yourself into. Doesn't mean the stock is not going to move, but it's going to have more chops. So you have different expectations. First, people on YouTube. Robert, it's Vic, V-I-K, Vic. Thanks, Victor. So again, yeah, see, volume low. They're able to identify stuff. We had a session a few weeks ago where I went through 110 stocks that they picked, and I explained why I liked or disliked every one of them. I was exhausted afterwards, but it was a great class. All right, Graham, tell us a little bit about what we're going to learn in an hour and a half. What are we in for? Tell folks everything. I want them to be very excited and participate in this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're going to be looking for specifically overnight opportunities, multiple ones each month. I'll kind of show you, Roger. If I can steal the screen for a second, you can take it back after.
Please,
but
please,
I've followed what you've taught me here with a lot of things, a lot of the analysis I teach people and share with people. I've been doing a Thursday trade room Thursday morning, trying to give them a little extra value outside of your VIP room, which I know people just absolutely love. But here's something we've been looking at: the presidential year seasonality for the year. Look at this. You'll find it very interesting. January, some choppiness, some drop, maybe all-time highs somewhere in this range, and then a drop going into February as well. It's pretty much, if you put the S&P this year over top of this, we're seeing it right inside this range of presidential year seasonality. it's been a really interesting guide to follow. Another thing too, if you look at the seasonality from January to February among the sectors, there's a lot of rotation going on, and we've been tracking it, Roger, like you taught me. Let me pull up over here. That's not it. If I go to the sectors from last week's week over week, look at how much movement there was. And this is from that stock fetcher. I told everyone, I said, Roger used to teach me to look at the relative strength among the sectors and look at all the rotation that we happen. Normally, you'll see one or two shift in a week. We had about 6, 7 sectors moving. That's because right now we're getting a pretty big rotation, which in turn means, like you said, with the XLP or other tickers right now, money's going in and out of certain stocks. So we're just trying to find the stocks that Wall Street's buying, the stocks that Wall Street is maybe aggressively selling too much. That maybe we'll see the pressure release, a selling pressure release, and give us a nice little overnight bounce. And we're looking for really strong stocks. We're not looking for bottom feeders, anything like that. Strong stocks have seen a little bit of selling, a little bit of rotation, and trying to buy them for a nice little overnight pop. So that's what we'll be talking about
So
today at 2:30.
that sounds very interesting. Can you do me a favor? Can you go back to that chart, the previous one? I noticed something interesting there.
This one
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
second
No,
one?
no, that's the one. Notice how. And again, I haven't. I'm sure I've seen this chart before, but I have not. I have not had a recollection of it till you just brought it up. And what I found interesting is notice how smoothly the market starts moving after February is over.
Look
And
at this. So you're talking right here, right?
yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Check
Right.
this out too. Every sector positive.
Yeah, yeah. So, and remember, folks, this gyration that we're seeing right now with China, with Europe, with Canada, with Mexico, all of this stuff, it's all hot and heavy right now because there's so much unknown. We don't know how it's going to shake out. But as President Trump's term, and this is what I've been trying to say, it's kind of going to be like this. Everything's going to settle. Things are going to start settling in their course, and there's going to be a lot more predictability. And when there's more predictability, I think things are going to move up. And I'll tell you why. Earnings have been good. Things have been actually moving pretty good. I think the only problem I have is that I wish that here's my problem. Okay, and I'm not gonna get political about this, but this is my problem. My problem is that I think that the world in the last several years went through a lot of trauma, okay? COVID, and you guys all know what I'm talking about. The last administration didn't do us any favors in terms of policy. And I think we have a lot of bruise. We're healing right now. We're trying to heal from all of it. And I think what I believe it was is that the Fed, if they gave us an extra 6 months of not, basically, we're imagine we're a boxer. We just got into a fight. We got beat up pretty bad the last fight, and we need to recover. And I think the Fed lowering rates when they did, instead of waiting till right after the election, caused our boxer to go into the ring once again before healing. And I think this stuff with China and all of this stuff that's going on, I think that's what's happening. But our boxer is healthy and he's in good shape and he wants to fight. He just wants to rest a little bit and get back to normal. And all Fed had to do, all they had to do was just give him an extra couple of terms, and they didn't do it. And I think eventually he's going to recover, but it's going to take a little bit more before we get there. So that's my 5 cents. I hope you guys, and again, this is not, I'm not trying to be political. I'm not trying to blame anybody. This is just the natural, I think this is just a natural stasis of the market. And I think we just need to let things kind of play out. Do you agree with me, Graham?
Yeah, I do. And especially now, all the volatility we've seen is basically all of it in around the Oval Office and what random thing gets signed any given day. Even we saw it on Fed Day. There wasn't that crazy of a move as in the past. It's all about
No.
tariffs, what executive orders going through, what are they finding. So definitely, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of volatility now. And I totally agree. Once things kind of settle a bit, people are going to be like, okay, things are good, things are healthy. Let's continue to grow from here. So
Yeah,
right now, a little bit of volatility though.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. So that's kind of it. So I think we have to be patient. We have to be a little more nimble. We have to buy options with a little more time. Maybe go a little bit deeper in the money to take advantage of the to make sure the volatility doesn't get us. But overall, folks, I mean, I'm getting emails like, "Do you think the world's going to come?" No. I think everything is going to be just fine. I think everything is going to be just great. And Tomorrow, we're going to conclude. Matt's going to post a link right now, one more time on YouTube and here. We get about 100 people on YouTube, Graham.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah. And so we'll get a lot of people into your room at 2:30. I'll be there. We're going to hear all about this. I'm looking forward to it. And I think tomorrow, folks, if you come to the room, I'm going to be talking a little bit about earnings because I want to give it a little time. Now we have about a half of the companies, so it'll be interesting to see where we are. Graham, thank you for being here, folks. Don't miss out the room at 2:30. It's posted in the link right now. It's going to be a fantastic class. I'll be there with Graham. We'll have a great time together, and maybe we'll even talk a little bit about football.
Awesome. Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
guys. Thanks, Graham, for
Thanks,
being
Roger.
here. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.